It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
There are three ways to ultimate success in life. The first way is by being kind. The second way is by being kind. And the third way is by being kind. This is because kindness has a way and a voice that resounds even after you in life. It speaks loud even when you are no more. So as you go about your business this morning, your legitimate hustle, put it behind your mind to impact somebody and show kindness in the little way that you can. You don't know how far that kindness will go and what it will mean to the person you're showing it to. Good morning. This morning from me and mine to you and yours. Coming from here, the hills of ZINARIYA in the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Michael Pedro is my name. And if you can hear me, it means you're rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. Today is the 5th day of November 2024. How fast the year is running. Just yesterday, it seems like just yesterday it was January, and already it is November, and even the 5th day of November. I hope all your plans and aspirations are being achieved. If there is any you have not achieved, or even if you have not achieved any one at all, it is not too late. You still have more than 50 days for this year to run out, and so therefore you can start up something today, because the greatest enemy of destiny is procrastination. So procrastination should not be allowed. We do this program every day: Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and of course Fridays. And we start this program by 8 a.m. and cap it up by 9:30 a.m. You can reach us on our social media handles. On Facebook, you can reach us on Unity FM and TV, Jos. And on YouTube, you can reach us on Unity TV, Jos. You know how this program is done. We do it in 3 segments. The first segment is the newspaper review, where we give you headlines on contemporary issues, especially as it concerns the Nigerian political landscape. And the second is the transit segment, where our analyst in the house gives analysis into contemporary issues that we have on the table. The third segment is a segment where you call in and give your input and submission as to what you think about the issue being discussed. When it is time to call in, the number to call is 070-3235-3315. I'll call the number again, 070-3235-3315. And for those that are going to send in text messages, the number to send your text messages to is 081-6314-1141. 081-6314-1141. By the grace of God, this morning I am going to be your anchor. But I am privileged not to be alone in the house this morning. I am with a voice that you are familiar with, a resounding voice that echoes through the universe, the Nigerian political landscape, the Nigerian politics every day, one who gives you analysis, especially an objective analysis every day. He is here with me. He is a father. He's an erudite analyst, like I've rightly mentioned. He is one that would lend his voice to the cause of humanity at any point in time. He's no other person but the person of Professor P.H. Bameyi. Professor, good morning, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Pedro Michael. Beautiful good morning. Suda Makan. Have you eaten?
Suda, sir. Yes, sir.
Viewers and listeners, Suda Makan. Have you eaten? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening if you're in other parts of the world where it is not morning for us here in the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. It's a beautiful, cool morning and a fantastic, beautiful day. And we are glad for the privilege to be counted among the living. And whatever you are passing through, I want to encourage you not to give up, because giving up is not an option. You must remain strong. And the year is fast coming to an end. And your goals for 2024, how far have you gone in achieving them, in accomplishing them? You know, Thomas Edison has more than 1,000 patents and inventions to his name. They said of that man, Thomas Edison, that he sleeps just 4 hours in a day. Another thing is that when he was trying to invent this electric bulb, the incandescent lamp that we're using today, he tried several times and could not produce the light. In fact, some records have it that he tried 999 times. It was at the 1000th time that the light popped out. And today we're celebrating that the studio now is illuminated with light. Your houses, if there is electricity, you have electric bulbs, you have fluorescent lamps and all the rest of them. It took somebody like Thomas Edison who refused to give up, who tried again and again until he accomplished that goal, that vision, that objective. That is why I want to encourage you, that your goals, your targets, your objectives, your dreams, your visions for 2024, how far so far have you gone? Remember, your goals and objectives must be SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Remember, there will be obstacles on the way. In fact, you meet with resistance on the way, but your persistence will break every resistance. You meet with failure on the way, but failure is the other side of the coin that is called success. Of course, sometimes you feel like throwing in the towel, but winners don't quit. Quitters don't win. Times will be tough, but tough times never last. It is tough people that do. There will certainly be difficulty, but remember, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Remember that anywhere you see a problem, there is money there. Where there is problem, there is money. Solve the problem and you collect the money. So, don't give up no matter what you are passing through. Don't give up on your goals and objectives no matter the hindrances, the obstacles, the challenges on the way. Even if you've tried and you failed, try again. Failure is not fatal. Success is not final. It is the will to continue, the courage to continue that really counts. So, soldier on, keep pushing on, keep moving on. Don't be stagnant, don't remain in one place. No matter how slow you're moving, make sure you're moving. Even if you're crawling, at least make sure that you're moving. You will get somewhere. It is better than just remaining at one point in life. So go get that certificate that you need. Go get that additional training that you need. Continue with that building project. Don't stop it. Go for that trip that you wanted to undertake. That book you're writing, don't stop writing it. Keep on writing it until it is done. That musical album, make sure you produce it. That fantastic idea, make sure it is realized. Ensure that you perspire to acquire what you require in life. In case you do not acquire, don't retire, refire. Go out today, make a difference in somebody's life, and always remember to be the change that you want to see in the world.
Thank you so much for that insight, that motivational talks this morning. It is our daily dose in-house here.
Yeah, we all need to be motivated.
Yes,
things are quite difficult in the country and even around the world.
Very true, sir.
And we sometimes need to even talk to ourselves.
Very true.
Sometimes I speak to myself. I talk to myself. I used to think that maybe it is wrong to talk to yourself until I discovered that they said that it's a fantastic thing.
It is.
That great people learn to talk to themselves. So you talk to yourself, encourage yourself.
Very true.
And then you keep pushing on. And then you'll be able to make it and become great in life.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful advice and motivational talk this morning. I am just going to dive straight into the newspaper review this morning. And today's newspaper is very, very interesting. There are stories here that captured my attention, and I'm sure it's going to do the same with you. Some of those stories are in relation to what we have spoke about just in recent time, and results are already coming out. The Daily Sun has this to say. It says, "I will align with you with administration's foreign policy goals, Bianca Ojukwu." And this one says, "FG's incoherent plan, cause of hardship, Atiku. Minors trial, FG bows to pressure. Tinubu orders dropping of charges, release of detained kids protesters." So this is actually an achievement.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yesterday we were screaming and shouting here that it is not right the way those minors are being handled. And all over the country there was an outrage. People were also shouting. Civil society groups and NGOs, human rights organizations, people were talking as we were talking. It is not right the way these little kids were humiliated. They were brought to court looking starved, Pedro. They were looking cachexic, emaciated. Some of them you can almost count their ribs, and 4 of them even fainted in court as they were trying to bring them, to take their pleas. They collapsed and they had to be carried out of the courtroom. It tells you that these kids were not being well fed, well taken care of. Only for the Inspector General of Police to come out and tell us that the kids were fainting. They were pretending to be fainting. I mean, those kids fainted. Those kids are not like your corrupt politicians that used to go and faint in court as an arrangement, or faint during a hearing so that they can be released. These are small children. Between the age of 12, 13 to 17, they are minors. They are not yet adults. They have to be at least 18 by our laws in Nigeria to be considered adults. And then you kept them for 3 months, starving them, harassing them, and then you're bringing them before a kangaroo court. Thank God that even the judge had some conscience. At a certain point, when he saw that the kids were fainting, he got up, and left and said proper order must be restored before the court proceedings, can continue. And you can imagine we were a shame to the world. Nigeria became an eyesore, a shame in the eyes of the international community. If you look at the video and the pictures of those minors being brought to a regular high court, for what?
How can Nigeria
you have to separate minors from adults, no matter whatever they have done. And in the detention facilities, who even knows where they were kept? Keeping minors and adults together. I mean, it's unheard of. It is something outrageous. And I'm even surprised that we were not on the streets, demonstrating against this inhumane act to minors. Little children, small teenagers, between the ages of 13 and 17. Some of them maybe even, less than 14, 13 years old. And they were being brought to court, for trial. And you can imagine that the prosecuting team, the police, and the lawyers and whoever, they were prosecuting these little children, had the guts to bring these minors and charge them for treason. That's why we were outraged to see this emaciated, hungry, starved minors. And then you are bringing them to court for what? These were little kids that were protesting that they're hungry. And you arrested them. Is it a crime to protest hunger? Is it a crime to protest an end to bad governance, in the country? Is it a crime to carry a flag, even if they carried any flag? I was in a church a few days ago. They had flags of different countries. When you go and arrest the general overseer or the pastor of that church, why are they displaying flags of foreign countries inside their church? We see some people carrying flags of foreign countries in their cars. Did you arrest them? Some people have flags of foreign countries in their offices. Did you arrest them? And you are saying that they were carrying Russian flags and whatever it is that a treasonable offense? You know, and you are carrying these little kids and bringing them before the whole world and displaying that we are a shameless country, that we are a lawless country, that we are a country that has no respect for minors and the rule of law. And that is why we are grateful that the president has intervened, you know, swiftly with this outrage and cry all over the country, and he has demanded that those minors, there are at least 32 minors among those 76 people that they were presenting in court that day. The president has demanded that the minors should be released immediately. And we celebrate the president for that. At least, even though we criticize him for other things, it is good that he has listened to the voice of reason, and that he has ordered yesterday for an immediate release of these minors. Because you can imagine, this is a shame on Nigeria. It is a shame that we can be so inhuman, that we can be so barbaric, to carry little minors and go and be charging them for treason just because they're hungry and they were protesting, you know, hunger, and you starve them. Only God knows for how many days those kids have not eaten food before they were brought to court. That's why they were fainting. That's why they were collapsing. And the Inspector General of Police is coming to tell us that they were pretending. They were pretending to faint. Small children pretending, 1, 2, 3, 4 more children fainting, and you're saying that they're just pretending. And we even have videos where some people were trying to give these children some biscuit and drinks, and they were scrambling for it. It shows that they were very hungry. They were starved. They were not pretending. How can you starve little children and then you are bringing them before the court? Did you feed them very well?
That there's no provision for their feeding, or it was siphoned or something?
If you see the humongous budget that the government allocates for people who are detained, for people in correctional facilities, people who are in detention, for the police force, for security, humongous budget. The police have no excuse to starve those children. In fact, if they don't have money to feed them, they should tell us that they don't have money. There are public-spirited individuals in this country that will have given money, that will have given food, that will have taken care of these children. But they were hiding them, keeping them. Why should they even keep them for up to 2-3 months since August? Because this protest took place between the 1st and the 10th of August, and it is now we're in November. How could you have kept them when the law says within 48 hours you should present people for trial? And you went and you kept them, breaking the law of the country, and you pretend to be law enforcement agents. It is a shame. If we were a country where we obey the law, if we were a country with people of integrity, if we were a country that is reasonable, if we were a country with people in power who know what it takes to be men and women of integrity, by now the Inspector General of Police will have resigned. By now the Commissioner of Police in charge of the FCT will have resigned. By now whoever was in charge of the detention of those minors will have resigned. By now even the head of the correctional facility or detention facility, wherever those children were kept, will have resigned. But this is a country that is full of lawlessness. Nigeria is a country where people commit crime and they get away with it. In fact, they will tell you that, don't worry, I'm going to the police station, you will see me, I'm going to come out. Criminals will tell you, and the next moment you will see they're out of crime. In this Jos, a criminal was arrested and was taken to law enforcement. The next moment, by the next day, he was out because he was the son of a big man. This is the kind of country that we're living in, where crime, you know, is perpetrated and justice is selective. And that is why you have people who are not performing, and they are still left, they are still holding on to their jobs. It is a shame that the Inspector General of Police, Betokun, is still the Inspector General of Police. By now, he should have resigned a long time ago. But we have shameless public officers in this country. Look at the recent reshufflement that the president did. At least 50% of his ministers should have been discharged. They should have gone. But he just did a jamboree and just discharged 5 or thereabout of them. You know, just a jamboree. Do we need all this jamboree? When are we going to be a country that has respect for law? When are we going to be a country that has values, that has integrity? Nations are not great by the value of their wealth. Nations are great by the wealth of their values, not the value of their wealth. It is not how much oil you have. It is not how much mineral resources you have. It's not how much of bitumen and gold and silver you have that makes a nation great. Nations are not great by the value of their wealth. No. Nation that we are well by the value of our wealth, how much mineral resources we have, and we lack integrity, we lack character, we lack the right attitude, and that is why we are where we are today. Well, public servants, public officers can be so corrupt, they can steal billions, and they will just be asked to just, negotiate and leave some of even performing. It is only in Nigeria that you see mediocre